You're listening to Later with Mo Kelly on demand from KFI AM 640.
And joining me as always on Fridays, this is Fridays with Nautica de la Cruz.
Oh, thank you so very much. Hey, listen, after our segment, let's talk about the soiree that I went to on Wednesday, okay?
That you were starring at. You were fabulous.
Thank you. You know what? I had such a great time. But I did kind of talk to some of your listeners. They wanted to know what I was going to talk about today. So I gave them a sneak peek, but I promised them that I was going to give them all the information. So for Discover SoCal, I went to the 2024 Los Angeles Lantern Expo, Art Expo, which is in Arcadia at Santa Anita Park, not too far from here. It just lights up the night. It is absolutely radiant. It's a celebration of art and culture, drawing visitors from near and far to experience the beauty and the magic of lantern art. Held annually, this event brings together artists and creators who craft intricate lanterns, each glowing with vibrant colors and details that you can't even imagine. The festival takes its inspiration from traditional Asian lantern festivals, where lanterns symbolize joy, unity, and new beginnings. And we all love that, especially with the new moon coming up. Now, over the years, the expo has grown into a lively gathering where cultures meet and people of all ages just get to enjoy it. The roots of the Lantern Festival stretch back thousands of years to ancient China. Piece of history for you, where lanterns serve to guide loved ones' spirits home or to celebrate the new year. Originally, these lanterns were simply made out of paper and had a beautiful, gentle light in, and it also symbolized hope and peace. But now, the Los Angeles Lantern Art Expo brings this ancient art to life with a modern twist, featuring lanterns of all shapes and sizes that reflect both traditional and contemporary designs. The artists behind these lanterns are very diverse as the festival itself, each bringing unique stories and backgrounds. Many artists have traveled from across the world, especially from Asia, carrying the traditional expectations and generations of generations. And others are local creators who kind of add their own Angelino urban style touch to the designs. And together they transform the Santa Anita Park into a wonderland of light and color. And it's vibrant and beautiful. It really is like a touch of magic. Now, I want to say, as night falls, the park truly comes to life. So I would recommend you to get there. Well, now let's see. We changed the clock this weekend. So I would probably say get there around 4:30, 4:45. See the lanterns before it actually gets dark. And you will see such a difference of what they look like when they're just illuminated. Also want to let you know that the Los Angeles Lantern Art Expo is only here until November 17th. So today is the first.
Got a little time.
You got a little bit of time. I do recommend that you wear some comfortable shoes. Take as many pictures as possible. I saw a lot of women there with traditional kimonos or kind of kimono-like outfits. But it was absolutely beautiful. Get your tickets online at www.awcae.com. That's awcae.com. It is here until November 17th. And they're open from 4 to 11. But like I said, get there before it gets dark so you can see the before and after.
I'm at the website right now, and I did not know about this. We had this discussion on Friday where there's so many things, wonderful things going on in Los Angeles and Los Angeles County right under our noses, and we may not know because we live here. That means we may not be looking for things right here. And I see that its attendance is on the level of Comic-Con, where they have more than 140,000 people who are coming through this, and it's amazing to me. Gorgeous lanterns, gorgeous displays and exhibits. And I didn't even know.
Oh, and let me tell you, there's also cultural performers. There is singers. There is traditional Chinese dancers, musicians. You're into martial arts.
Yep.
There's martial arts performers too. So get there, I would say, get there a little early. Oh, and they have great food too. So they have food vendors as well. The kids love it. I really appreciate I really appreciated the art. I appreciated the lanterns. You're not supposed to touch, but I did touch like a few. Yeah, don't tell him.
Come on now, you should know better.
But I was like, wow, this is just amazing. Just the fact that these artists come together and they build these ginormous lanterns. And they're so intricate and vibrant, and the colors are amazing. And, it's always nice to learn about other cultures and what, these lanterns symbolize too.
I'm looking at the prices. It's reasonably priced. We're talking $25 general admission, $40 for the whole weekend. Let's say you can't do it all in one day because, like you said, you got to bring your walking shoes. There's a lot to cover. Or you can get a $28 general admission pass any day. So whenever you're ready to go, you can just go.
Yes. It's fun. It's a lot of fun. And you know what? Real quick, I want to talk about the soiree that you invited me on Wednesday. Some of the listeners that came up to me, there was these two couples. I did not get their names. I'm sorry, but I know they're listening. You guys were your costumes were amazing. But they came up to me and they said, Nautica, I listen to Discover SoCal every weekend. And the next day, my husband and I go do what you tell us to do. I was like, what?
Honestly.
She gave me a list of every museum. She gave me a list of the expos that were in town. And I said, oh my God. I said, I did mention all that. And she said, yes. She goes, you give us stuff to do on the weekends. I was like, oh, so like, you know what? I'm going to pat myself on the back right now and kudos to me.
This is always a constant reminder of how humbling and awe-inspiring radio can be. I think it's a tremendous responsibility, and I try to not take anything I say lightly because thousands and thousands of people do hear, do respond, do follow recommendations. And that's just another reminder that, one, the power of KFI, but also so many great things to do in Southern California. And I'm glad that you're highlighting and bringing some spotlights to them.
Thank you. I really do appreciate it. And I thank you for giving me the platform. And I thank the listeners that showed up on Wednesday. We had a great time. The food was great. I had some great food from Wendy's. I didn't have a full, what do you call it? The shake thing, oh my
Frosty?
God, the Frosty. I didn't have a Frosty, but maybe next time. But it was all amazing. The people were so nice. The staff that helped as well. And just the energy was really, really, really good.
Well, we have some other business we need to take care of before we go to break. For those who don't know.
Yes.
Nautica de la Cruz is from Brooklyn.
Okay.
Calls Los Angeles her home.
I know where this is going.
During the live show, the Dodgers clinched the World Series, and I had been on Nautica as far as where her allegiance would, where it actually would lie. And, born in Brooklyn, you said, but you live in Los Angeles.
Correct.
I need you to clear that up for me. One more again, as they say. One more again.
Yes, my heart is in New York, but I live in LA, and I'm so happy and so grateful, and I'm just ecstatic that the Los Angeles Dodgers brought home the trophy for the World Series.
So what does your sweatshirt say?
It says Naughties from Brooklyn.
So happy you wore a Brooklyn sweatshirt to the show.
Let me remind you that the Dodgers originally came from Brooklyn. Don't get it twisted.
Fair enough. But that's like me wearing a Cleveland shirt as a Rams fan. Yes, the Rams originally came from Cleveland.
Right.
But that's more like a trivia.
Yeah, I get it.
Thank you. That's right. When we come back, we'll have the hidden gem with Nautica de la Cruz. This is later with Mo Kelly, KFI AM 640. We're live everywhere on the iHeartRadio app.
You're listening to Later with Mo Kelly on demand from KFI AM 640.
KFI AM 640 live everywhere on the iHeartRadio app. It is Friday nights with Nautica de la Cruz on Later with Mo Kelly. And today's hidden gem is Amelia Lopez. Amelia Lopez grew up in the heart of San Fernando Valley. By the time she was a teenager, Amelia's life had taken a direction her mother Rosa feared could lead her down a dangerous path. Amelia struggled to fit in school and often found herself slipping behind, feeling invincible, and among her classmates, who seemed to understand things just didn't click for her. As her grades fell, so did her confidence, and she felt a little lost, like some of us can feel when we're in our teenage years. Eventually, she gravitated towards friends who, like her, felt unseen and misunderstood. Together, they found solace in risky behavior and late-night antics. But deep down, Amelia knew these friendships were only temporary. Rosa, a single mother working 2 jobs, could see her daughter slipping further away and felt powerless to help. Despite her love for Amelia, she began to lose hope, wondering if her daughter was too far gone to be reached. Then one afternoon, as Amelia was wandering in her neighborhood, she noticed a group of young people gathered at a community center nearby, laughing and working together on a project. I think she said that they were painting or cleaning up around the community center. She was drawn to their energy and she approached them. She learned that they were part of an Alliance for Community Empowerment, an organization devoted to supporting young people in finding purpose and direction. Curiosity got the best of her, and Amelia decided to attend one of their workshops. There, she was introduced to mentors who had faced struggles like her and found a way out. For the first time, Amelia felt like someone understood her journey and believed in her potential. The Alliance for Community Empowerment became a lifeline for Amelia, offering her not only mentorship, but also practical skills and community service opportunities. The organization works tirelessly to uplift at-risk youth by providing educational resources, life skill training, and leadership development. Though through Alliance, Amelia discovered her passion for helping others and even became a peer mentor herself, guiding younger kids away from the same pitfalls she had once faced. And I think a lot of us have, too, in our younger years. The Alliance for Community Empowerment.org was founded in 2013 and is based in West San Fernando Valley. Their mission is to support and uplift at-risk youth in undeserved communities, recognizing the challenges faced by young people who lack positive role models and resources. The organization was established to provide them a safe space and guidance to help them overcome obstacles and pursue brighter futures. I can say that Amelia is now in her mid-20s. She does volunteer, and she works for her family-owned construction business. She was referred to me by Lincoln Bloom from LinkedIn from that message. Thank you so very much. And if you would like to donate, you would like to get involved or learn a little bit more about the organization, it is the Alliance for Community Empowerment, but it is short for www.ACE4change.org. That's ACE4change.org. And you know, when I was talking to Amelia, I really felt her because I was a knucklehead kid.
No.
I knew
tell us one knucklehead story, just one.
Oh my God. Okay, I'm going to make my confessions here.
Statute of limitations has already expired.
Okay, thank you, Jesus. I stole. I used to do illegal stuff. I'm very blessed that I didn't go to jail, but I almost went to jail once, and my stepfather was the one that helped me out. And I think because him and I didn't have a really good relationship, I think that improved our relationship, and that made me wake up, because at 18 I was going to be charged as an adult and not a juvenile.
See, you were getting ready to walk into what I was going to say, because the importance of the Alliance for Community Empowerment and other organizations like that, we need to add to our sum total of advocates, the people who are surrounding us, the people who can counsel us, guide us, instruct us, correct us, rebuke us, pray for us, teach us, all of those things. Because if you don't have that hedge around us, if you don't have that adult figure to step in and say, Nautica, you need to slow down, or you are going to prison, then that's where we lose a lot of young people. And that's why I'm always big on youth guidance, any type of organization which works with youth and provides role models or representations for them to follow. They cannot be it if they can't see it. They can't achieve it if they don't have any type of blueprint in which to follow.
I agree. I sometimes wish that growing up, there were organizations like this to help me. You know what I mean? My mom used to always try to keep me busy. That's why I did theater in New York. I volunteered after school, but I wasn't part of an organization that I had mentors that was like, hey, you know what, Nautica, you're not doing this, or, you know, you're falling a little behind in history. History was not my favorite subject, but I wish I would have had that. And there's so many more opportunities now than there was as I was a child. But I think mentoring and being an advocate and extending your heart and your arms to young teens, or even an adult makes such a difference, because sometimes you have days where you are in your depression or your self-esteem is not at par, and you feel like you're all alone in this world, but there are so many other people that are going through this. And so when you find an organization that could guide you, I think it's amazing.
Since we know that your words will touch someone, will reach someone, will help someone, how can people continue that conversation with you? How can they find you on social media?
Oh, please find me on Facebook or Instagram at Nautica de la Cruz, NAUTICA DELACRUZ. I write back. I like to communicate. Also, I'm on LinkedIn too. I feel like our listeners are send me most of our messages there. But please, I respond to everything, and everyone. And if I don't have an answer, I will try to find an answer for you. But I'm really a people person. I like people. I like to help. And I like to be sassy. I am, not gonna lie.
All right then. Nautica de la Cruz, always good to see you, and we'll see you next week, right?
Yes, sir.
You're listening to Later with Mo Kelly on demand from KFI AM 640.
Now on Later with Mo Kelly, Mark talks about movies and TV, pontificates about pop culture. Rahner Report with Mark Rahner.
KFI, Mo Kelly, live everywhere in the iHeartRadio app. Let's turn it over to Mark Rahner with the Rahner Report.
All right, Halloween was on a Thursday this year, which might seem like it sucks, but in fact, what it means is you can celebrate it the weekend before and the weekend after. It also means that instead of spending time watching and talking about Here, the Tom Hanks gimmick movie set entirely in one room, we can talk about Halloween movies one more time. I'll watch Here when I'm immobilized and unable to leave one room myself. And I can't help reading it the way my grandpa used to shout it at me when he was mad. Here! Maybe they'll make a sequel called Put That Down.
No, the sequel will be There.
Yeah, There! Instead, I'm going to turn you on to the coolest horror swashbuckling adventure movie you've never seen. It's called Captain Kronos, Vampire Hunter. I know the title sounds corny, but this is a minor masterpiece. Here's a little bit of the original trailer from 1974.
In the 18th century in Central Europe, a black terror swept across the face of the land. The curse of vampirism, which had been a half-forgotten memory for hundreds of years, returned with a fury that struck unholy fear into the hearts of every man, woman, and child. One man dared to make a stand against this evil epidemic. One man dared to hurl a challenge of cold steel against the terror of the undead. He was Captain Kronos, Vampire Hunter.
It is commonly supposed that a vampire attacks in only one way, by biting the neck and draining the victim of blood. The girls you spoke of, they were not drained of blood, but of youth, of life itself. You see? He's been bitten on the mouth. God's sake, I survived a vampire's bite. He is not the man you are.
I'm doomed. My soul a never-ending torment.
Kill me! Kill me!
Captain Kronos came way before Buffy the Vampire Slayer, but you could sort of consider him an ancestor to her. Much smarter, though, witty, without the kind of irritating, cute dialogue from Buffy. And it's got a creative twist on vampires. None of the cheap rubber masks. Also, one of the absolute coolest heroes of all time, played by a German actor named Horst Janssen. He's like a wry, feather-haired Prussian Clint Eastwood. Now, the reason I'm telling you about this movie now is that after decades of almost nothing, the studio is putting out a super-duper collector's edition of it with so many bonus features, commentary tracks, documentary features, interviews, tons of stuff that when I finally am immobilized with long COVID or whatever, it'll keep me busy a good long time. The pre-orders for it were a couple days ago, and as much of a cheapskate as you know I am, I happily paid a not small amount of money right when it was available in the wee hours because of the time difference between here and the UK. It's easy enough to find if you're interested. I'm not doing a commercial for the thing. I still have some shreds of ethics and dignity left, And you need to know that not everyone in the media is a complete prostitute. The studio is Hammer Films. That is the joint that put out all the Dracula and Frankenstein movies with Christopher Lee and Peter Cushing from about the late 50s to about the mid-70s when Captain Kronos came out. In fact, Kronos was more or less the end for that studio. One reason you probably never heard of the movie is Hammer Films had fallen on hard times and they didn't promote it. And they went out of business for a while, so they just quietly dribbled it out on a double bill and let it die an obscure death. But over the years, it became a cult film. I saw it when I was, maybe 13 years old, wandering around at a sci-fi convention, and there was a VHS of it playing on a TV in an empty lobby, and I just stood there with my mouth hanging open, watching the whole thing from start to finish. As I'm standing there watching the movie in this hotel lobby, a girl came up to me and started watching me, and tried to talk to me and hitting on me. Non-nerds may not know this, but those sci-fi conventions were practically swinger weekends. I was too young for that, but this stuff was going on all around me. So this girl's blatantly just standing there staring at me. You could almost hear the porno guitar music. Foosh, don't play it, please. But I was too interested in the movie. She was quite patient about it, too. And I just wanted her to go away because I'd never seen a movie like this. Also, I was cripplingly shy, and even if the movie wasn't any good, I wouldn't have known what to do. Here's the basics. Sometime, as you heard in the early 18th century, an ex-soldier from the Napoleonic Wars, I think, and his brilliant hunchback assistant race on horseback to a village in some nameless European location where girls are being killed. They're not getting their blood drained with the 2 puncture marks on the neck like a classic vampire. They're being found turned into old women with their life force and their youth drained from them. That's right, a vampire's turning girls into Andrea Mitchell. Captain Kronos.
That's so mean.
Actually, Foosh, let's have one. Let's have one for that. Come on now. He's reaching for it.
Andrea Mitchell.
All right, I'm not going to wait for. Thank you.
Delayed gratification.
Captain Kronos and his partner, Grost the Hunchback, they're in the business of killing vampires, and they let us know that there isn't just the one kind. There are as many different species of vampires as there are beasts of prey. Absolutely ingenious new wrinkle in there. Kronos frees a young woman who's been put in the stocks, where angry people throw fruit at you. She's played by the Hammer scream queen, Caroline Munro. She was in The Spy Who Loved Me, the one who gets blown up in the helicopter. She becomes part of the vampire hunting team, or a groupie. Kronos is a master swordsman, and he takes on bullies, a group of angry villagers. He's got a climactic sword fight with the mystery boss vampire that is as exciting as anything Errol Flynn ever did. And he also, fairly bold at the time, likes to unwind with a joint. You didn't see a lot of that in movies back then. There's new vampire lore created in this movie, and it's explained by the Grost character, who's a professor with a weird sensitive streak about being ridiculed for being a hunchback, which is rude anyway, and people who do it deserve to die by the sword. Not a spoiler. Captain Kronos was created by the same guys who did the 60s Avengers TV show from England, the one with Steed and Mrs. Peel. They're Brian Clemens and Albert Fennell. It was meant to be the first in a series of movies, with Kronos and Grost traveling through time and encountering all these different species of vampires. But because Hammer went belly up, we just got the one. It has some of the same style and wit as the Avengers, but it's not as light. If I say it's an arty vampire movie, that doesn't sound nearly as fun as it really is. I've said for years the Criterion Collection should put out a special edition, but this thing coming out from Hammer, and again, I'm not on their payroll. I don't get a free one, nothing. It's like Criterion on Hulk gamma rays. It's in a box you could bury a pet in. It's massive. And make no mistake, the people who make the genre movies that you love now, they know and they revere this movie. If you haven't seen Captain Kronos Vampire Hunter, put it on your list. It's great. It's quirky, fun. It's not like anything else. You can find it streaming, and if you love it, this new box set from Hammer is something you'd cut. It's something you'd cut someone for. Mo, you and I were talking about Shaun of the Dead the other day being one of those rare movies that gets all the balance, the mix of horror and humor, note perfect. This achieves a perfect blend too. Even though it's not really a comedy, it does all sorts of different things at once and perfectly.
Where can we find it?
It's streaming, and you can also order this massive box set from Hammer Films. Just Google it. You can find it.
Okay, well, I'm lazy, and you want me to Google. So, come on, you're asking a lot.
It's you must have like a short list of comfort movies that you put on when you're in a bad mood.
Yep.
This is one of mine. I've seen it many, many times. coolest hero of all time, a master swordsman, vampire hunter who smokes a joint at the end of the day.
That sounds like my kind of movie.
It's so
Doesn't
much
take
fun.
itself too seriously.
And I know that you like the Avengers show. We've talked about, I'm sure we've talked about Mrs. Peel before. It's kind of that same sensibility, but a little more serious.
Okay.
Very fun.
All right. I love it, and I actually do pay attention, and I do follow up on a lot of your suggestions.
I would actually like to watch this with you, and in addition to just enjoying it, I like to watch other people watch it for like the reveals and the sword fights, and there's some...
I know he did make it weird. Didn't he make it weird?
No, I didn't say the popcorn bucket trick. I just said I like to watch this movie with other people.
To watch. Yeah, I know.
You have to make something filthy out of the most wholesome, fun things. This isn't even there's no swearing in this movie. There's nothing. It's just mild horror, nothing, no gore, and plenty of adventure.
No Al, just Andrea.
Excuse me?
You said no gore. I said no Al Gore.
Absolutely no rim shot for that. Let's go straight to the news. No, I forbid it. Here now.
You're listening to Later with Mo Kelly on demand from KFI AM 640.
Later with Mo Kelly on KFI AM 640.
Live everywhere on the iHeartRadio app. And let me just say once again, thank you so very much for the Later with Mo Kelly pre-Halloween soiree. We had a wonderful time. I thoroughly enjoyed hanging out with you. I thoroughly enjoyed the tour that we had after the show, where we took you around to all the different studios of the different stations. We took pictures in the main studio here. It was a really, really fun event. And I think I can confidently say that's going to be an annual occurrence. As long as they will have me here at the station, we will do that, because I know station management was very pleased with how well the whole event was done. So I wanted to say shout out to Tuwala Sharp. He had the lion's share of responsibility of making sure we had food and libations, and making sure that the space was what it needed to be, making sure we had swag to give away. And as a matter of fact, for tonight's Name That Movie Called Classic, we'll be giving away a combination of T-shirts, Later with Mo Kelly coffee mugs, and also keychains. You're not going to get all three, but you may get one of them, or possibly two of them, but that's up to Tuwala. And shout out to Fork reporter Neil Saavedra for making those swag and tchotchkes available for us. But it was a great, great, great week. Of course, we had the unforeseen circumstances with the Dodger game preempting us on KFI Wednesday night, but we still made it into a wonderful event, and that was in great part because you came out in a great spirit, wanted to have a lot of fun, and we had a lot of fun. And if you missed out, too bad. You have to wait till next year. You have to wait all the way until next year, because that's something which was very special and we can only do in that space. It was the helpful Honda Studios. Shout out to Wendy's and Ron and Ed, who made sure we had food. Shout out to BJ's, made sure we had food. It was just a really fun, relaxed evening. I want to say 99% of the people who attended were in costume. I'm not exaggerating. I really can't think of anyone who wasn't in costume, including our program director, Robin Bertolucci.
That's right. She was in a Robin costume from Batman, wasn't she?
Yes.
I didn't get a close-up look at it.
She was Robin from the 1960s Batman.
Yeah, I didn't realize that was her. That was really good.
And that was intentional. She didn't want us to know it was her, not until she was ready to reveal herself. But, and the next time we'll all be together will be Pastathon, which will be coming up in December. I'll let the station make the official announcement, but that's not a big surprise. We do that every single year, but I look forward to, again, being out and chilling with you. But Tuwala, since you come in the studio, congratulations. Great job, man.
Hey, look, that was absolutely stellar. We came, we saw, we kicked the proverbial donkey right in the butt. And I was super excited. I mean, talk about proud of all of our contributors, because they came and the way the audience embraced them as these stars that they are. I mean, and they had the time of their life, seeing Jackie out there.
A lot of people hitting on Jackie Ray.
A lot of folks hitting on Jackie Ray.
If y'all didn't know, you missed out on Jackie Ray.
Look, the nice exercise lady was giving tips. Colleen Cooper was giving out tips. Marsha Collier was helping people with their phones live. In the moment. Yes. Pull out. Okay, so let me show you this. It was so much fun to see everyone interacting, everyone laughing at Tiffany Hobbs, who was doing a spot on Foosh impression. Love that. Nautica, there were so many fans of Nautica with her radio history who just, I remember you from this and I remember you from that. And that was so much fun to see everyone in costume, Ron and Ed having fun, everyone having fun. The KFI, iHeartRadio street team working hard. It was a blast. Security was even loving it. I could have security having a good time. Everyone's having a good time.
No one was a problem, so security could it's going to be a chill evening.
Yeah.
They didn't have to worry about removing anyone or someone not, being in the right spirit or someone trying to sneak into the party. There were no issues. Absolutely zero.
The festivities were real. The costumes were fantastic. The brother who came is Jimi Hendrix. I said to myself, he must do this for a living. There's no way he just put this together. You are a Jimi Hendrix impersonator, and I love it. Prince, Fat Thor. Who else?
Fat Thor, yes.
That was fantastic.
We had a lot of members of Starfleet Academy there that night.
Yeah, damn near enough to fly the Enterprise. I mean, you all were deep. Love that. Love that you and La Mujer were in tandem. And that was a bit of a surprise.
She didn't tell me.
Like, watch for this.
Yeah,
I love it. I love it.
Yeah, for those who didn't know, my wife came, I'll say midway through the show.
Yep.
And was surprising to me because, like I said, we have 558 people and a half at my house right now. Another 135 showed up since the first hour. So you know how that is. So I knew she had her hands full, and I didn't think that she was going to make it, and she did make it, and she made it in costume. KFI AM 640. We're live everywhere, the iHeartRadio app, as we kick off November and kick off informally the holiday season on Later with Mo Kelly. We're live everywhere on the iHeartRadio app.
We go through all the that's going on so that we can tell you just the you need to know.
KFI
and KOST HD2.
Los Angeles, Orange County.
Live everywhere. You're listening to Later with Mo Kelly on demand from KFI AM 640.